and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Willie. Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my process and the way I produce an indie pop song. Now this particular track has already been released. It is under the video title Indie Pop Writing a Song Like Far Caspian. Now before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Hit the bell notification so you know when I post a new video like this one. Now I know a lot of you have been asking me to show you my process on how I mix and produce these songs that I've been writing. Now I know I've done separate videos in the past, like how I mix my bass or my guitar or recording a guitar for a dream pop song, as well as my vocals. So I'm just gonna kind of refresh that and do an overall how I mix a complete song. I think I even did a video on that before, I'm not too sure. But I know my videos get buried. I've been doing like 2 videos a week, so over the course of a year, you could imagine, you know, some videos get lost. Alright, so I'm gonna be using these Apple earbuds to mix. This is honestly how I usually mix. I know I have these monitors here, but I've gotten so used to mixing with these like at home, and plus I'm not like technically releasing these songs, so I don't put too much effort in the mix. Like it's more of songwriting, you know, like my songwriting process. So that's why I just mix with these guys, and plus I'm so used to them. And one thing you guys will learn too is recognizing how your recordings sound and when you're mixing while using what you have. Like I started with these, I ended up getting some small, like these mini like Genelics. I ended up selling them, and then I got these guys. Actually I had the HS5s, and then I traded a friend for his 8s, just because the HS5s looked small in my other studio, to be honest. But I mean they work pretty good. But yeah, so we're gonna be mixing with these guys. I don't recommend like mixing all day. Like your ears are you're gonna experience ear fatigue. And then if you try to release a song right after you're done mixing it, it's gonna sound like shit. I would recommend, you know, mixing for a few hours, however long it takes you, giving your ears a rest, at least like, you know, I don't know, 10, 15 hours. 24 hours is even better probably. Then go back and listen to your mix, and you're gonna find that you're gonna hear it differently, you know, and then you can make your adjustments. It's not gonna be a huge difference, but you're gonna hear things like, oh damn, I didn't know the guitar was as loud as it was. But yeah, always give your ears some time to rest. So after I mix a song, I'll wait like 10-15 hours. I'll listen to it again the next day in the morning, and I'll make my adjustments. Sometimes I don't have to make adjustments. Most of the time you will need to make minor adjustments. Alright, let's get started. I'm gonna shut off the overhead, shut off the snare, and I'm going to start with the kick. I'm not going to worry about the volume just yet. I already have some pre-saved, I guess you could say pre-made my own like effects rack. So like, for example, Pocket Kit. I'm using the Pocket Kit, so this will be the Pocket Kick. Just drag and drop that in there. Got my compression. This is how I EQ it, and then I got a little saturator. Let's go with that. Now let's listen to it. So without the EQ, you know what I mean? Yeah, I like my kicks to sound warm and fat. So let's loop this and let me show you. And then the saturator, it kind of, for me, it warms it up, gives it a little bit of texture. If you just throw on the saturator, it is going to boost up the volume, so don't forget to control it right here on the output. Bass usually kind of gives it a little more beefiness. Otherwise, it'll thin and distort it out if you go this way. So keep it around there. So that is my kick. Snare, I already have a pre-saved effect group in the effect rack, which will go right here. We can listen to that by itself by shutting off the kick. It's before. Now I know it sounds a little bright, but once we get everything else in the mix, it's gonna sit just right, I feel. And then what I usually do is, depending on the style of song, like for this song for example, I will duplicate the snare. I can even change the color if I want, which we will do that. We can even change to verb snare, because what I'm going to do is add some reverb to this. Oh wait. Whoops. And I'm just taking the lower frequencies out of that reverb. We don't need the chorus. I take the chorus off. And then we can adjust the size of the room right here, so check it out. And you can really tell if you boost the wetness or the decay time. I feel like it gets lost if the size is too big, so we can put it right there. Decay time, we can cut it short. Now, because this track is just a snare reverb track, we can boost the wetness all the way up and then just drop the volume on the verb snare track. Sorry, I forgot to shut off the original snare. So original snare shut off. This is just the reverb track. We can even EQ this a little bit differently. I can take out more low end. Now we have the overhead here. Let's check it out dry. I think this is with the iPhone too. The iPhone 13 too, I mean, as well. This is with the iPhone 13 mic. I don't think it sounds that bad. So we have here already a preset effect rack under Pocket OH, which is overhead. I like to add reverb just to give it that creaminess, so it kind of blends in well with the rest of the track. The rest of the drum track, that is. All right, let's turn everything on and we can start kind of mixing it. Also, don't forget, when you're mixing, mix low. Try not to mix at high volume because your ears are going to get tired faster. So keep that in mind. You know, like the lower you mix where you can still hear everything, the better, I think. Because then it's just going to get really chaotic. And then, okay, so that's the drums as far as the individual drum tracks. Now I will, I usually group these. I'll group the drums, so I'll click on the kick all the way till the end, hold shift, and then click on the last track, which is the overhead, and then I'll command G or control G, depending on what computer you're using. That will group the track. Then you can rename it drums, and I have here a drum group effect rack, excuse me, which I'll add compression, smack attack, which really brings out those transients, you know, the initial like punchiness, I guess you can say. And let me show you what that looks like. I think I might have got this for free or really cheap, probably like 20 bucks or something. Let me bring up that smack attack. All right, so here you have the attack. I set it to like 14. The sustain, I kind of pull back just a little bit so that it's a little bit tighter. And here's where you can select like the actual punch or like transient, the initial hits. So you have like really sharp to medium to not so sharp, I guess you can say. You can control the mix right here. So yeah, that's what I do. And then I'll throw an EQ and I'll kind of bring out the highs a little bit, not too much. And then I have my J37 Tape Simulator. I use a preset where it says mastering fat, tight, and open stereo. Throw that on there. Usually the noise is up, but I always kind of bring it down because I don't really care for the noise. Saturation, I bring it up just a little bit because at the very end, the whole track, I throw one of these on again. And if it's too much saturation, obviously it's going to get really distorted. So I go just a little bit on the drums because like I mentioned before, we add this to the whole track after as a master, I guess you can say. So this is what the drums sound like. Those are the drums. All right, now let's do our bass. Now here I don't have a pre-saved bass effect rack because sometimes we don't use the same bass and sometimes I want different tones. So we'll do it from scratch. Go to audio effects. I will throw on a compressor to kind of tame everything. Throw on an EQ. Now right here around this area is where the kick hits. So like, watch, let me show you. This is the kick EQ. You see these waves right here? So we don't want those to collide. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna duck right here. Even though it sounds cool, like you don't want them fighting. We can even cut these subs. Now I want a softer sound, so instead of bringing those up, we can drag this down. We can bring up the mids. Saturator. Soft sine. Now let's hear it with the drums. Kind of just bring that down. You can bring the drums down more. Bring down that overhead. See, once you start bringing instruments in little by little, that's when you'll be able to tell, okay, well, that's too loud. Because the drums sounded too loud, that doesn't mean we need to bring up the bass. What we need to do is bring down the drums. Still bring down the drums. We can bring down the bass too. So without the overhead, it doesn't sound too bad, right? But once I bring back the overhead, it sounds kind of hot. So we can pull back on that overhead. Sounding a little better. All right, now let's do the acoustic guitar. I believe I do have an acoustic guitar rack, effects rack right here. All right, so without the effects rack, a little bit cleaner. Bring that down. And then we can pan it too. We'll pan all the way to the left. And you'll notice when you pan something, it sounds like it gets louder, but it doesn't get louder. It just, you hear it more clearly, so it sounds like it's louder. Which then we can just kind of lower it a little bit. We want to be able to kind of hear it, not hear it in your face. And that goes with all the instruments. We want to be able to distinguish them, you know, to where like, almost like you have to kind of try and hear it, but not by too much. Okay, so to me the snares sound a little hot still. We're gonna just lower them a little bit. Just making sure it wasn't the overhead snare. So when we recorded this, I already threw in a tremolo effect. So all we have to do is go ahead and drag the Dream guitar right in here. Okay, so electric guitar. What I'm going to do is pan that all the way to the right. We can even kind of pan a little bit more harder on that acoustic. Now what I like to do is I'm going to double this. And with this duplicate, I'm going to go ahead and soak it in reverb and pan it to the opposite side to just give it a wider range. But I'm also going to do this little trick to make it even sound more wider. So, let me show you something real quick. Let's go ahead and hear them together. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to turn off the grid, and by doing that you right click on the session, hit off down here. That's going to turn off the grid so it doesn't snap into place, and what we can do is drag this a little back. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so you hear that? There's like a subtle delay, but it sounds a little wider. So remember, the second duplicate is our, we can drench that more in reverb. So our second one is our soaked reverb electric guitar. And I can lower it because it doesn't need to be that loud. We just need to kind of be able to hear it. Don't forget, our acoustic is also on that side, and we don't want them fighting each other. We can even lower that tremolo. The tremolo mix. Alright, now let's just kind of give it a listen. Bass can go down a little bit. Because, like, my favorite instrument is the bass, and I love to hear the bass. But that doesn't mean we need to, like, boost the bass up. It just means I like to hear it. Now we're doing this, when you mix a song, you're mixing it for the song, not for the instruments. Everything we do here is for the song. No instruments should be stepping on each other's toes. Damn it, I hate when this comes up. Remind me later, please. I'm busy. Have company. And we can close this, force quit. I don't know why it does that. Okay, but yeah, so the bass could drop lower. We can lower the acoustic just a little bit, and I think also the electric guitar is just a little bit. Okay, now let's move on to lead guitar. I'm gonna drop the same effect rack, except, wait, is there tremolo? Okay, yeah, no tremolo here. Let's listen to this. And I'm going to pan that around 2 o'clock. Let's see. Now, as you can see right here, the waves get a little bit bigger. We can always automate those. So that overhead still sounds a little hot to me. I'm gonna lower it. A little too wishy-washy. Now I'm automating this a little bit lower because I know right here is where we have a chorus, so there's vocals, and we don't want that fighting. Let's drop it a little bit lower right here. I think we're good. We can go ahead and move on to mixing the vocals now, if you don't mind. Alright, so let's mix those vocals, which they are somewhere around here. There they are. Okay. I'm gonna shut all of these off. I'm gonna start at the top. Don't pick up the phone. I don't know what to say, I feel. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and drop one of these vocal effect racks down here. Now, just a heads up, you should know I created these. I didn't these are not like presets or anything. This is how I like my vocals to sound. Don't pick up the phone. So it includes a compressor. I EQ it this way, a saturator, vocal synth. If you turn down all the mix, otherwise it's gonna sound like this. Check it out. It's basically like a it's a vocoder slash, I guess you can use it for auto tune, but I don't use it for that. I'll drop the mix all the way down, and then right here where it says width, you can make the vocals sound wide or, you know, inverted. I don't know how you say that. Don't pick up the phone. I don't know what to say, I feel. But I like them right there. So that's what my vocal rack, my vocal effects rack, that's what it consists of, these things right here, and also reverb. So don't pick up the phone. I don't know what to say, I feel. Lower those. We went wrong. Now remember, you do not want your snare to be louder than your vocals. Don't pick up the phone. I don't know what to say, I feel. But there's like, you can hear like, there's like that pocket where it just sounds, it sounds just right. You don't want them to be way louder than your snare, but you don't want your snare to be louder than those. Alright, so vocal, I mean the chorus, we can turn the chorus on. I was never sure. Lower those. I was never sure what would be. It was never. Then I had some oohs right here. I was never. Lower octave oohs. So you already know we can drop those because it's too loud. Go to like -10. Now what I like to do is I can throw an extra reverb on these bad boys. To just soak it and make it sound really far, really haunting. Check it out. And then we can just copy paste on the others. Yep. Okay, let's listen to that now. We can lower the volume on all of those, and let's pan those. So the lower octave vocals, I'm gonna pan hard right, hard left. And then also the others, maybe not so hard, probably like around here. All right, I'm gonna lower the lower ones just a tad more. And let's actually raise them all together right there. All right, let's hear that transition from the chorus to those oohs.
What would be? It was never.
I'll lower the snare just a little bit.
What would be?
Also the overhead. Excuse me.
What? Covers on. I was overthinking.
Just lowering the vocals a little bit.
Covers on. I was never sure. What?
All right, I think we can move on. Now right here I have these no's. Or I say no.
No. No.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna add that another reverb, but maybe we can go a little bit harder on these. Let me show you.
No.
We want more of a delay.
No.
Excuse me, more of a decay. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna copy that, paste it to the other no, and then all right. For the chorus vocals, we can kind of pan them a little bit out, so they're just a little bit wider. Let's save that. Okay, let's just hear what we have so far.
Don't pick up the phone. I don't know what to say. I feel we went wrong. Pull the covers on. I was overthinking us through our song. I was never
Alright, so we don't want too much pre-delay, so we can pull off on that.
Don't pick up the phone. I was never sure what would be. It was never.
Can bring the volume up on these oohs. Alright, I think that sounds about where I would have it. Don't forget that I also add a effects rack on the master track. This is how I would quote unquote master it. I don't really like manually, you know, do it, or however you would say it. I would just basically compress the whole track and just brighten it up just a little bit. I'd brighten it up just a little bit. And then, once I mentioned earlier, I would throw another JS37, mastering fat tighten open. Now once I drop it on here, the noise level is already going to be in the middle. Can you hear that? That wasn't in the middle, but I just wanted to show you what the tape level noise would sound like. It would be like right here, but I just kind of pull off on it, or maybe just a little bit, just for a little texture. That's really all it is there for. And then for the saturation, it's at 0.4. Now right here you can change the tape sizes, which kind of changes the texture a little bit, but I like where it's at right now. That is it. That is how I would do my mixing and production for one of these kinds of tracks that I've been putting out, you know, writing a song like this band or that artist or this artist. This is my process. Don't forget to rest your ears. So if you want to listen to the final track of this song, you can go to my previous video, which is Indie Pop, writing a song like Far Caspian. I'll leave it in the description down below, and then you can go ahead and like fast forward towards the end. So you can skip all the writing, you know, like my whole recording process basically, and you can listen to the final track. But yeah, so this is my process. After I would do this, I would just, you know, give my ears a rest, wait about 10, 15 hours, 24 hours if you want to, and then see what needs adjusting. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, how I mix and produce an indie pop song. Thank you for watching the video, if you've made it this far. Now, I never promised that this was going to be a short one. It's quite a process, and this is just like mixing. It's not writing the song, recording the song. I know you guys wanted to see the whole process from beginning to end. That's probably going to be like a 3 or 4 hour video. I don't know if you're ready for that. I mean, I don't even know if I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that? I might do it once in a while, maybe here and there. But I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it answered some of your questions. I learned everything by ear and just by watching, so I don't have a wide variety of proper music terminology. I'm just going by listening. You know, so if you want a better explanation, this channel might not be the channel for you. If you learn better by watching and listening, then this channel might be for you. I hope you enjoyed it though. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know when I post a new video like this one. You can drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if it helped you guys. Like I said, maybe this channel's not for you. You can follow me on Instagram at Banana Labs on YouTube. Hey, and until the next one, have fun and keep creating. It's me, Willie.
Happy New Year!